Hello guys and welcome back. I skipped a week. I had a very hectic week last week, and so in this video I will be reviewing last week's paycheck and then catching up with today. The good news is I did not have to cash stuff anything last week. It was more of all electronic payments and paying bills. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We did have a rollover of $152, and my husband did get paid $1,600 for a total of $1,754 to work with. I did have to pay everything due between October 18th and October 24th, which is right down here. All of my bills that I expected did come out in those exact amounts. So $1,309 was paid in bills. My husband got his variable expense pay money. All of my savings goals have already been met in prior weeks, and there was no cash stuffing. So down here, my income minus my bills, minus my expenses, minus my savings. We did have a total of $43 to roll over, and we'd rolled that over to this week. Today, October 25th, I did get paid, and I'm paying all of my bills through Halloween, which is October 31st. The rollover money of $43 plus my paycheck of $2,002.54, a total of $2,045.54 to work with. Remember, I did get my paychecks backwards. I was expecting my last paycheck to be $2,000 and this week to be $1,930, but they were actually reversed, which was fine. I still had enough money to pay my bills. All of my bills between October 25th and October 13th have been paid. There's no bills. So I'm getting my regular variable spending. And then the only thing that I'm saving for is my mortgage, which is due November 1st of $1,580. So this money just gets thrown into a savings account and just sits there until the payment comes out on the 1st of every month. So for this week, I am cash stuffing just the $400 for my variable expenses. And then right down here, this is the total for October, since this is the last paycheck. My income minus my bills, minus my expenses, minus my savings, $65.54. I will be applying that $65.54 to an additional debt payment so that I can pay my debt down faster. Every bit counts. Instead of spending this money on random things, I'd rather apply it to something productive. So for the end of October, with the paychecks, $65.54 is what we have been able to save. And that is by either making extra money or lowering our bills if possible. So $65.54. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and cash stuff my personal envelope, and then I'm also going to review my travel binder to see how things went on my trip to New York. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my iPad to the side, and excuse any background noise if you do hear anything. My kids are still awake. Oh. All right, so first and foremost, we will count the cash. As always, my iPad doesn't want to stand up for me. I use it as a guide. These numbers are pretty typical and I kind of have them memorized, but I like to have the guide just in case. So first we're gonna go ahead and count. We have a $100 bill, 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 220, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, $60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and $20. So $400, which is all going to my personal envelope. All of the other cash stuffing is completed for the month. So let's go ahead and grab my binder. And if my voice sounds a little funky, I totally lost my voice yesterday. Yesterday was game 7. The Phillies versus Diamondbacks, and I am a Diamondbacks fan, and I completely lost my voice. So bear with me. Yeah. So personal, I did have $26 left over. I did not spend anything between last paycheck and this paycheck. So I'm just going to add another $20 for a total of 20, 40, 45, and 46. I actually did not do a lot of spending in a few of my categories. I had a very busy week last week, but I did overspend in one, and I'm sure you guys can guess what that one was. For shopping, I did have $10, $15, $16 left over, and I'm going to be adding 20, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and $50 to this envelope for a total of 20, 40, 50, 55, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, and $66. And then in clothes, it did have 20, 40, 50, and $51 left over. 20, 40, 50, 51. And this envelope is going to get $30. So here's 20, 25, and 30. I'll just do it. So we have a total of 20, 40, 60, sorry, 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 80, and $81. And in makeup, I did not spend anything. So I have 20, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59. And makeup is gonna get another $20. 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 67, 78, 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 76, 77, 78, and $79 for makeup. And fun stuff, as you can believe, I did go over in this envelope of $111. I spent a lot of money here. Diamondbacks. I went to a Diamondbacks game, bought food, bought alcohol. Alcohol gets me every time. And went over. So originally I'm supposed to give this envelope $250. So there's 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 220, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Actually, we're gonna do 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. But I am automatically gonna take out 111. And I'm gonna take this back to the bank because that is what I overspent. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. And the math isn't mathing here. Give me 1 second. Oh, I put too many 5s. So this is 100, 5, 10, and 11. That's what goes extra. 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39. So I only have $139 left to spend for the next 2 weeks in some fun stuff. So I better get it together because I cannot afford to lose any money. And then my miscellaneous envelope is going to get its regular 30, which is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So we'll see how this goes. Halloween is coming up and also the World Series. So I'm praying to God that I figure it out. I will celebrate my little butt off once the Diamondbacks win. I know they're gonna win. I can feel it in my soul. And all of this money is just gonna go back to the bank to pay off my credit card from spending in these categories. So for the next 2 weeks, I do have some money to spend. Yeah, $400 minus the $111 that I did overspend in. And that's pretty much it for that one. Next, I'm gonna go through my travel binder. Some great things happening here. I did stay in budget in my trip. I am so excited, super grateful, and very proud of myself. So I'm gonna kind of go over all of this together. If you guys remember, I did take all the money out and I put it into my savings account. So everything that I did spend, I just went ahead and paid off my credit card, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with the extra. So for the hotel, I did have $400 total. The hotel did cost $257. I had $143 left over. That was the total amount of the hotel. I had extra in there just in case there was like any taxes or extra fees that sometimes are applied at the hotel, but this included the entire amount of the stay. So I had that $143 left over. Airplane, there was no cost to fly. I did get those flights for free. In gas and anything to do with transportation, my two biggest expenses were the Lyft to and from the airport, and then I did spend about $55 on the subway for me and my husband and my 2 kids. Super proud of my kids. They took the subway everywhere, no problems. I was really afraid that I was gonna have to taxi around the city, but did not have to do that. They were totally fine with the subway. They kept up. They were the best. So I did have $84 left over in transportation, a total of $340, and then $84 left over. In my food category, I was super paranoid about this because I didn't think it was enough, but it was actually plenty. Our total budget for food was $1,500, and after all of our food and dining out, we did have $250 left over. In tickets, I did have a total budget of $675 for tickets. I bought a city pass through my work that gives discounts on city passes, and I did end up spending $452 for my family of 4, and this was for 4 attractions, and there was like a ton of attractions to choose from, and it covered everything. So we went to Coney Island. It paid for their bracelets and like unlimited rides, which was great. It paid for our visit up to the Empire State Building, which was great. We went to a wax museum at Times Square, and then we also did a Yankee Stadium tour. I did the math, and like without this discount or the city pass, it was over $600 for all of those attractions, and I got it for $452, so it was well worth it. And then while in Coney Island, we did play some like games and stuff, which was $60 worth, which brought our total to $163 that we have left over. Did I add this already? I don't remember. I'll do the math again, but $163 left in tickets. In souvenirs, the total budget was $200. My kids had $100 each, and they both decided to spend all of their money at the toy store in Rockefeller Center, FAO Schwartz. They actually did pretty good. They got lots of toys and had some fun making some of those toys. They did go over by $10. They don't know anything about taxes, so in their mind, they think they stayed in budget. But after taxes and stuff, we did go over by 10, which is totally fine. So I did use some of my miscellaneous money to cover that. But overall, pretty good for them. Drinks, this was a non-alcoholic trip. My husband and I did not go out. Obviously, we don't have any kids. Did have a couple drinks at dinner, but that was included in food. So there was no budget for that. In our shopping category, we did have $100 for shopping, and we did end up going over by $9. Did use miscellaneous money to cover that. So I'm just gonna do the math one more time because I don't know what was the total. So it was $143 and $84 and $250 and $163 and nothing. We went over there. I don't remember how much was in my miscellaneous binder. I think it was $42. It was $42. So I'm gonna add the 42 because that was in my miscellaneous binder, but then I did use $10 of it, so I'm gonna subtract 10. Drinks, nothing. Shopping, and then I'm gonna subtract another 9 for miscellaneous money. So we did have a total of $663 left over from our trip. Very happy with that number. With this money, I'm gonna do a couple of things. One, in my sinking funds binder, I'm actually going to use this money to pay off all of the things we had to buy for our kids prior to the trip. I already made the payment, but we'll just put today's date. Today's 10/25, and I'm gonna put NYC here. So the remaining funds, I did owe $427 to my credit card, but I'm going to use the leftover money to pay that. So we're gonna add $427. So we're gonna, from the 663, we're gonna subtract $427, and that leaves me with $236. With this money, what was I gonna do? I don't remember what I was gonna do with this money. I'm pretty sure I have a plan, but at the top of my head, I don't know what I'm doing with that money. What am I doing with that money? It's not coming. I don't know what I'm doing with that money yet, but in the meantime, it's gonna sit in my savings account until I figure it out. Or it just might stay in my savings. The majority of the money that I used for this trip was from a bonus that I did receive a couple months ago. So money well spent, very happy with the totals. $236, everything that I have is paid off. Totally fine with this. So yeah, that is pretty much what I have for my trip. And then this is the last week of October. We do have about like 6 days left, almost a week. So I'm just gonna kind of go through my family binders to see how I'm doing there. In my grocery category, I do have $244 remaining for the month. 1, 2, 20, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 244. And my budget for the month was 400. Just to kind of give you an idea about my grocery trip, I am very, very, very grateful for my parents. My family only really has to cook dinner. Everything else is paid by my parents. My son is in school, so he eats breakfast at school. Free lunch is provided to all students at his school, so he has free breakfast and free lunch. So he eats there. My dad is the most amazing dad, and he makes me breakfast every single morning. I drop off my daughter because my parents take care of her, and he has breakfast ready for me literally every single day. So he does that for me. He also feeds my daughter lunch because she's there with them. And then my son occasionally will have lunch there. If he has like a half day, he goes to their house after school. And on Wednesdays, my mom cooks us dinner. So we really only have to cook ourselves food Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekends. So the meals that we do make, they're not very expensive. My son plays baseball, so we're sometimes eating out because of late games or practices or whatnot. So my grocery bill is not very much. And I'm very grateful for my parents because they do help out a lot with that. So for a family of four, $400 a month, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but again, we don't have to buy too much. In my household, I do have $14 left over. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we just increased this amount, and it was $100. Yeah, we had $100 to spend, and I do have $14 left. So if we do need a couple of things between now and November 1st, I have a few bucks to spend. Transportation or gas. Normally I had a $500 budget, but I did drop that to $450 just because we were not spending all of the $500 for a couple of months. And so far I have $21 left over. We just filled up both of our cars today. So I think we'll have this left over. We'll see how things look by next week. These budgets restart on the 1st of the month. But if I do need any gas between now and then, I do have $21 to use. My husband's car is used the least, and his tank will last him almost 2 weeks. So his car should be completely fine. My car is what we really use for weekends and whatever. So yeah, that is what I have for the last 2 weeks of October. Overall, the budget is looking pretty good, except for my overspending. But you know what? The Diamondbacks are going to the World Series, so there might be more overspending just depending on what happens. So yeah, that's all that I have for this video. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And if you have not, please like, subscribe. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good week and have a happy Halloween. And go Diamondbacks!